Hello? Test, test. Is this thing on? Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here to talk about the new iPhone SE 2022 and the idea of, is this phone a joke? And I mean that seriously because if you look, especially on social media, you look at a lot of the news outlets, you look at a lot of the information out there for people who are deciding whether to get one, basing a decision off of other people's opinions when this phone first came out a week ago. It didn't really seem like something that made sense or would be worthwhile, or some people are saying it's junk, some people are saying it's a worthless rehash, some people are saying you shouldn't spend the money on it because heaven forbid $429 is way too expensive, but $399 was okay, even though we've got the more advanced processor, we got 5G, we've got better battery technology, bigger battery than the last one. So I think that Apple, I don't really think they took a gamble here. I think they understand that people kind of know what they want. I think Apple knew that people that have an iPhone 6, a 7, an 8, an SE, a 2020, they want one thing. And that's this phone right here. The same body design, the same Touch ID sensor on here, the same screen, the same everything. And I think that they did that at a very affordable price point for people who buy into the Apple ecosystem. I think that people understand that there's no $200 brand new iPhone. And as much as you try and compare this, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, it doesn't matter if I tell somebody who wants an iPhone SE 2022 that, hey, you could get the Pixel 5a. Presumably it's a better device. You can get it for the same price. Why would you want to buy this? This is dated. This is an old design. And they go, I want an iPhone. I like that. And I think that's hard for people to wrap their head around. And I've been using it for a week. I'm recording right now with my iPhone 13 Pro. Typically, that's my normal daily driver with my primary SIM. Of course, I do usually have three SIM cards. I've got three phones I'm always carrying around. But for the iPhone that I use, my iPhone of choice is the iPhone 13 Pro. And I bought this with my own hard-earned money. This is not something that Apple sends me. I'm not an Apple fanboy. I don't even like Apple that much. I understand the utilitarianism argument when you look at them. And, of course, because of my family, it makes sense in some ways. But I prefer Android. So for me to even use an iPhone in the first place is a stretch outside of my typical comfort zone because it's not what I prefer. It's just one of those things. And a lot of people have that same argument. They're like, I don't like iPhone, but it has iMessage. Everybody has iMessage. That's what I use. And that, believe me, makes it a really hard argument for people to try and sell them on the idea of an Android phone because yeah, I like all the cool stuff you get with Android. I like my S22 Ultra. I like my Fold 3. I like my Flip 3. There's some really cool form factors out there. Folding phones, big screens, 120 hertz refresh rate. And then you got this guy that has basically looked the same for like 7 years now, but it's got the world's best smartphone processor underneath the hood. It's going to last you for 7 to 10 years. It's going to keep getting supported. It's getting me 6 hours of screen on time, which is just uncanny because my S22 Ultra is barely getting me that with a 5,000 milliamp battery. We're talking over 50% bigger battery. Of course, it does have a larger screen and all the other stuff. And that's where Samsung always fails. They give you a big battery, but then they give you all these features that suck it up, like drinking juice out of a straw. That's just the battery is being sucked the life out of it. So that's kind of some of the offsets. So if you want something reliable, you want that I'm very familiar with it experience, you want to do your iCloud restore or directly over from the device when you take it out of the box and then start your phone up and it's the same it was when you used the old one, right up your alley. $429 I think is reasonable. And a lot of people are like, okay, it's a dated design. It's a dated older screen. Well, it's still got over 300 pixels per inch. Yes, it's a 750p screen, but it's only 4.7 inches. If you were to put a 720p, 750p resolution on a 6.8 inch screen, like on the S22 Ultra, it would not look that great, except for ironically the fact that it actually looks pretty good on the S22 Ultra, which you can dumb down to 720p. So anyway, I don't want to get too wrapped around the axle. Yes, I prefer 120 hertz. I prefer the ProMotion on my iPhone 13 Pro. If I were to buy one of these two phones, would I still go for the iPhone 13 Pro? I would, because I need it to record my videos. I need it to be able to do all the stuff that I do. I need the 10-hour battery. There's a lot of stuff that it brings to the table. But have I really missed out on that experience very much other than the fact that I needed to record my videos? Not really. I expected this kind of to get like 4.5 hours, just like the last one. I didn't expect a lot of greatness in the iPhone SE 2022 department, but I was committed to testing this out because honestly, the level of hate and the level of frustration people were throwing at this device, sight unseen, and not giving it a chance, and also the fact that it's not for them. This is not a phone for tech enthusiasts, although I really appreciate it because I much prefer Touch ID over Face ID. I've maintained for a long time, if they were to make an iPhone SE Plus, I would be the first one in line to buy it because the iPhone 8 Plus is probably my most favorite iPhone ever. I don't need Face ID. I don't necessarily have to have the greatest cameras in the world. That stuff doesn't give me my jollies. I just want to have an enjoyable phone experience and it to do everything I need it to do. And that's kind of where I'm at. Honestly, when it comes to this phone, it delivers so much of the same experience that you get with the modern iPhone, except you get it in the old form factor. And on a 4.7-inch screen, 750p does not look bad. It doesn't hurt my eyes. And a lot of people that make that argument are sitting there streaming their Netflix or they're streaming their YouTube at like 360p anyway, which is just funny because a lot of people don't pay for the expanded internet connection, and then they still don't turn it up on their preferences anyway. So they're not even watching Quad HD Plus video. They're not watching 1080p. A lot of people, I think, are more snobbish on the idea of what the phone is not and don't understand that people want to have a $429 iPhone. Yes, I get it. You can go buy other phones. You could go get a Redmi. You could go get a Xiaomi. You can go get a Poco. You can go get a Motorola phone. You can get a cheap TCL. But that doesn't carry the same weight. It doesn't come with iMessage. It doesn't have the familiarity. It doesn't give everybody who's been using an older iPhone that doesn't want the new one. They don't want Face ID. They don't want an all-screen phone. They don't want a 6.8-inch, 6.1-inch screen. They want this. And 50 million of these sold over the last 2 years. So there's a lot of people that are interested in this still. And I got to tell you, if I were a phone company and I had a phone that sold 50 million phones over 2 years, a guaranteed 20 million easy a year phone sale, I would make this for a long time. And that's exactly what they're doing. And also when it comes to the transition with cutting off 2G and 3G, yeah, there are some older phones that really need to move over that just don't have the underlying bands. And I get this a lot. Lots of people are like, hey, 5G is a gimmick. It's kind of not. 3 or 4 years ago it was a gimmick, but now it's the future. And part of the future is here. This has been the expanded network we've been moving out. And the hardest part was getting those puzzle pieces in place because it's not all that millimeter wave technology that basically you have 100 yards from the antenna and it's very high power and you're getting those 1,000 megabyte per second downloads. This has been a very, very targeted and strategic rollout, just like 4G LTE, but the problem is these antennas just don't go as far. So when you have companies trying to put these antennas all over the place, and then you have to talk about interference with different frequencies and getting the bandwidth and the deprioritization of different megahertz and frequencies, there's a lot that goes on, but this is where we need to be. It's much more efficient, it's better for data, it's great for connected cars, it's good for autonomous vehicles, it's good for instantaneous data. There's so much that 5G will bring once it's here fully. It's just kind of like that awkward teenager stage right now, and I think a lot of people don't understand it. But it is a necessity, it is better, and it's something that's going to make phones better as they go. And if you remember, when the 4G LTE modems came out, they were no slice of heaven either. They were inconsistent. They were using a lot of battery. That's what happens as the technology matures. What the 4th generation of 5G now? It's very, very more mature than where it was. There's so many more frequencies. There's different type of frequencies. So the fact that I can have this on 5G and Wi-Fi at the same time, use it at home, use it when I go out, I'm still getting 6 hours of screen on time on 23 hours off the charger. That to me is really impressive for this small phone. So it allows you to get business done. You can carry it around, you can use it, and you can enjoy it. This form factor is a people pleaser. It is for the people that want it. This is not going to convince you to put down your Fold 3 and pick up the Apple Torch and go do some sort of conversion and sign your name away for like the secret Apple church. It's just a $400 iPhone, and it's something that people want. And maybe I'm being a little bit more charismatic in this video, but it's frustrating to me because I think this phone is very well suited for people that want it. It's like they look at that and go, look, this is what I want. And the people that say this is not what I want would never use it in the first place and just want to criticize it for not being inside of the box that they think it should be in. And I think that that's okay. And that's really what Apple's kind of always been. Not really an inside the box kind of person. Maybe their own box that they create, but not society's box by any stretch of the imagination. So I think it's a good phone. I don't think it's a joke. And I think that people that are interested in it will flock to this a lot more than they will people and videos of people that are turned off by it immediately as soon as they start the review. So I wanted to do a good service to this phone and realistically take an opportunity, use it, see how it works. And I believe I'm up kind of at the upper level of power users when it comes to phones. I do everything with my phone. I use it all the time. I kill phones day in and day out as far as battery life goes. And this one right here, I've been very happy with it. The LCD screen is not quite up to my preference. I much prefer the ProMotion display on my iPhone 13 Pro, but that's why I buy a Pro and not a regular 13 or a Mini, or that's why I won't carry this as my full-time daily driver. If this had, say, a 5.5-inch screen, 2 cameras on the back, ProMotion display, I'd use it all day long. I would thoroughly enjoy that phone because I did like the 8 Plus. I like that size. I like that body style. I like that experience, and I hope we get that. But for right now, if you're looking to get one of these and you're using a iPhone 6, 7, 8, SE 2020, you're going to love it. You're going to enjoy continuing to use it, and it's going to be very well supported and capable and enjoyable for very, very many years, I think. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please head down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.